That was there. It's the Blake Aaron Radio Show with Tina Anderson at 88.5 KSBR.
Live!
We're live, baby.
Anaheim, California, 2012 Namm
That's right.
convention, and we're broadcasting here live and bringing you the inside scoop as we always like to do. And Hit Music Central, I've been hearing about this show for how long now?
Wow.
It's been a while, and just the excitement's building, and we're honored to really be able to talk to you, because it seems like with all the naysayers and all the things you can't do, that you guys have really found a way to break through and stay strong and confident and break down all the walls that people put in front of you and create a concept that we desperately need and really promote on our show, which is live music, live jamming, the arts, appreciating a musician, a vocalist. And we've been hearing about how the show got started and all of that, and you know, and the obstacles that you've had. And I'm just curious, do you guys all sit down together and decide who you'd like to see on the show, or what's the process right now for you as far as finding talent?
Well, we did sit down collectively and we had sample ideas of who we'd like to see. You know, we're still introducing the show, so you still get a little bit of pushback. You know, we want to see where it's going to go, you know, who's going to be on the show. So we did get a little bit of that, but we're still introducing ourselves to the community. And I mean, we're in the trades this week. We're in a number of trades. People are starting to call us. Wow, I'd like to get so-and-so on there. Can you consider this act? Can you consider that act? So, you know, it's going to certainly be a process, but one that we welcome.
Of course, yeah.
And believe me, once we get the show out there too, I mean, people are going to be calling us. I mean, right now, like I said, people are reaching out to us. It's quite an interesting position to be in.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, I can only imagine. You mentioned 8 years, I think, at one point, right? Were you guys all together for all 8 years? Or did your team build at the same time?
Field. She's been here. Wow, that's a long time.
And I want to talk to Jamie, too, the female here, the fellow female.
The very hip and cool, lovely, and talented Jamie Stevens.
Yeah.
The dot connector.
Yeah, and because Jamie knew from the East Coast, and we had also wanted to know, before we forget, how we get people involved. I can imagine that you're going to want live
audience-based, right?
Yeah, enthusiastic audiences to support all this.
Absolutely. That's one of the best parts, I think, about our show, because we're going to have live audience every single week with the different bands, so people get to come down to the Grove in Anaheim and actually watch their favorite bands perform. So we have a couple different ways that we're going to get people involved. You can go check out our website at hitmusiccentralusa.com, and then also on our Facebook page, which is just Hit Music Central. And you can like us, and there's going to be an invite that's sent out through that, and we're going to have a way for people to RSVP so that they can come and be part of the audience.
How big? How many people?
Well, we're looking at a minimum of 300 people, but the Grove, as David said before, holds way more than that. So we're hoping for just as many people as excited to come and see it. So.
We want to support that too. Those of you that that live in Orange County, and of course our station is broadcast out of South Orange County. This is a chance. Usually, not we have to drive up to LA.
Right.
I mean, anyone that goes to a show, right? We're always like schlucking up to LA, and you know, and so here's something in our own backyard, and so I think we need to champion and support efforts like that. And so I don't think you're going to have a problem getting.
I can't imagine that we're going to have a problem. My friends are also excited. They're counting down the days until I can tell them who's going to be there, and they're telling me that they're reserving their places now, so they're all going to be there. So I'm excited just to be part of something so amazing.
Yeah.
It must have been great for you, because working on the show so long, when it finally came to fruition, must have been such a great feeling for us.
It has been a very insane and wonderful, exciting, tumultuous process. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but most up, and so now we're excited to finally see a light at the end of the tunnel, and that everybody around us is as excited as we were from the day one that we decided what we're going to do moving forward. So,
how many shows do you tape before you start actually airing them? So what are you looking at for production?
We're determining between 4 and 6. I'm sorry, 4 and 8, and so then we're going to see from there. It's a lot of different bands, because we want each show to have its own voice of every genre of music. So it's kind of scale itself, I guess.
It's sort of like if you take a radio station concept in the old days, like the middle of the road format. There's a little bit of everything. and everyone could sit around, like the whole family, because the dad could listen to the farm report and the son could hear his sports and all that. So it kind of reminds me of that concept where each week you're going to be focusing on showcasing all the different genres. It's not like just all the hip hop people are going to be there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's going to be all different types of music every single week, and you're right, it is exciting because families can get to know each other's kind of music. Kids will be able to introduce stuff to their parents, and I often see people really loving music of different times, so that's a great thing that we're going to be able to bring to people, where everyone will be interested in hopefully all of it.
Yeah, and turn over, because even the example of American Idol last season with Casey Abrams, who brought jazz in. I don't know if you saw any of that, but I was so excited because he actually said, I just wanted to bring jazz to young listeners.
Right.
And you had the upright bass and all that, and I mean, and that he was popular, he did well, so I think people, they just have to be exposed to it. So it sounds like this is going to be part of what you're doing.
That's true. Now, do you feel, Thornell, for example, that there hasn't been as much exposure in recent times as there was, say, 10, 20 years ago for kids, coming up? Because I remember when I was growing up, I was exposed to all different kinds of music. Yet, whether I liked it or not, had nothing to do with it. At least I knew what was going on. I wasn't a huge country fan when I was a kid, but I knew about it. You know what I'm saying? So would you say that this is helping to get more exposure out?
I got to tell you, like Jamie, I grew up on the East Coast, right outside of New York City, and I used to listen to this top 40 radio station called WABC, and it was my exposure to all different kinds of music that fueled my love for music and my desire to be in the music business. And I've been in the music business for 20 years now. I completely agree that a show like this will go a long way towards exposing kids to different kinds of music that they may not have been familiar with. I know, like, for example, my boss's, one of the guys I work with, son, is 10 years old, and he's completely and totally into electronica, and I wouldn't have ever thought about it. But it's because he comes from a sophisticated universe of kids, like his little circle of kids, very, like, precocious, very grown kids. But I can imagine that, someone who is in Boise, Idaho, who's listening perhaps to their parents' country music because that's what they're exposed to, will have an opportunity when checking out this show online, or let's pick a city that show's actually going to be in, Philadelphia or New York or LA or Dallas or Miami, that they'll see something that they never experienced before, and then they'll go online and check it out, and then it'll broaden their opportunity. So yeah, this is like, it was a good point, the idea that music of different genres and exposing young people to different things. I think it could only be good for the music business, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do the show, was because not only was it live music was the fuel of the music business, but that we could be an engine for the artists. So like David was saying before, I'm so sorry, David was saying before that we, people are curious, they're very excited about the idea, they're asking us questions, and we're engaged in those conversations, and the calls are actually starting to come into us. But I guarantee you, after they see this show, and if you want to see the show, the sample of the show, go visit hitmusiccentralusa.com. The sizzle reel, which is the cut down of the pilot, is on there, and you'll see how polished it is, what a big idea it is, and that's what's getting people excited. And I think once the audience sees it, it's going to be a big hit.
And Blake is here involved with you guys because he is going to be doing the live belly dancing segment, which
I didn't know.
He's been practicing.
Jamie's teaching me.
And
I'm getting better.
I'm just telling you, he's got it down.
But I haven't
really
quite
good.
passed the hip and cool factor yet.
Yeah.
I mean, she's going to let me know.
Okay.
His outfit's not there yet
I'm
either.
feeling it.
He's trying to wear the rock outfit and do belly dancing. That doesn't work.
Well, remind me not to show up that day.
You hear what David said? Remind me not to show up. All right. Well, we are the Blake Aaron Radio Show. I'm Tina Anderson at Hit Music Central. We've been talking with the brains behind the show and the talent as well, and we're broadcasting live from Namm 2012 in Anaheim.